Today, the reward offered by Crime Stoppers was increased to more than $12,000 for help to solve an Allegheny County cold case. It was 7 years ago when the investigation began, and tonight, police are renewing their appeal for any information at all that helps them solve this homicide. Here's our Dave McKinley with tonight's Two on Your Side original.
In a state police barracks in Batavia, there are two investigators with two boxes of files hoping to solve a 7-year mystery.
This is the only case that I've ever seen or heard of like this.
It happened 70 miles to the south at this farmhouse on a lonely country road in the Allegheny County town of Ward, 7 miles from which, on the porch of a house on the outskirts of Wellsville, the victim's stepdaughter sits and wonders why.
For the life of me, I just can't understand it, you know.
82-year-old Ray Cornelius, a widower and retired factory worker, rarely ventured from his spread in these remote foothills on Wadsworth Hill Road.
That was his quiet place, and he loved it, so I cannot think of anyone who would do what they did.
On what police believe was the night of July 1st, 2017, several hours after Ray was last seen mowing his lawn.
His son Reggie called him every day because Ray lived alone since my mother died. So Reggie called him every day, and the one day he was not able to reach him. And then the second day he still wasn't able to reach him. So that's when he contacted me, and my husband went up to see if Ray was okay, and he was not.
Mr. Cornelius was shot in the back, inside of his residence, and the person who took the shot was outside of his residence and actually shot him through a window.
Two things told them this wasn't some stray shot from afar. First, the way the shotgun slug shattered the window pane. The second was the lay of the land.
There is a steep fall away from the residence as it goes toward the road, and basically anybody over 5'6" or 5'7" would have had to been within 2 or 3 feet of the house in order to see Mr. Cornelius and make that shot. The amount of forensic evidence at the scene was very limited.
No shell casing recovered, no DNA, nothing taken from the home, in fact.
It was apparent to us that no one had entered the residence.
And despite this logbook that indicates close to 300 leads have now been followed, after all this time, they say, they are no closer to solving this than they were when it happened.
Now we're almost 7 years from this, and they still, to my knowledge, don't know who killed Ray.
I think anybody could just think how awful it would be to be in that situation. So we're hoping that somebody can come forward with some information to help us.
Because it's hard to make sense of something that makes no sense at all.
Because of the lack of an entry to a home, there was nothing stolen, there was no beef, there was no gain. Nobody gained anything from the death.
From this aerial photo, one can deduce that there are not many folks around here who may have heard or seen something, but the time of the year when the homicide occurred gives them hope.
It was 4th of July weekend. It's a heavy area with camps and private properties that people go down to vacation at that time of year.
About 3 miles from where she sat and spoke to us, in a valley of the foothills he loved, Ray Cornelius lies for eternity near some pine trees 5 miles from where he lived and died.
He probably could have lived a few more years or a lot more years, and they took him.
It's our belief that somebody out there knows something. Somebody heard something, somebody was told something, maybe they didn't believe it at the time, but like if they take themselves back to a time of 4th of July weekend, 2017, in a little town of Ward in Allegheny County.
Any little tip could be the one that brings us to the resolution, and finding the perpetrator. That's the help that we're really begging for.
Now, if you do have any information regarding the homicide of 82-year-old Raymond Cornelius, which occurred on or around this time, July 1st or so, 2017, at his home at 4849 Wadsworth Hill Road in the Allegheny County town of Ward, please contact Crime Stoppers of Western New York. The number is 716-867-6161. It says 861-6161.